Hello, Milwaukee Sting. Coach Busy back here with yet another monthly mental performance video. This month is the month of April. Can't believe it. It's snowing outside right now. Couldn't fool me that it's April. But our theme is face the challenge and embrace the challenge. Very quick. I won't even go through them. Monthly video recap. We've done a lot of talk about how we communicate to our teammates, how we communicate to ourselves, and our best way to let go and move on from mistakes. I talked with your coaches. I checked in with them, got kind of the sense that we still want some work with a lot of these things. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Also, just as an aside, if you are watching this video and you have watched all my videos so far, either as a team or individually, come find me at Sting and I will give you a prize. So thank you in advance for your participation. But let's talk about our theme for this month, face and embracing the challenge. So where are we at in the season? First of all, you guys know I'm a Bucks fan. This picture is Joel Embiid, 76ers. I promise it has to do with what we're talking about. I'm actually wearing a Bucks shirt right now just to show you guys, like, I don't rep Joel Embiid, I rep Giannis. But trust the process in terms of where we're at in the season right now. We are in the middle of qualifiers. I talked about qualifier season a little bit in our March video, but this is kind of the grind. A lot of travel. We're playing against some of the best competition in the country. A lot of our teams went to MEQs in March, to Northern Lights. A lot of us are going to Windy City in a couple weeks. Show Me next weekend. It's a lot of really big qualifiers. You have to get there and you have to perform well to succeed at these tournaments. So it's kind of a grind right now. And your coaches, when I checked in with them this month, said things that they're looking for is better support on the court between teammates, which I always agree with. A little bit more fun while we're competing. And I think that goes along with finding success in the process. So not just the wins and the losses, not basing our success as a team or as a club just on set wins or match wins, but also in the things we're improving on. I cannot talk about all those things in one video, but wanted you guys to know where your coaches' heads are at and kind of where I'm leading this video to as well. Let's talk about mistakes and challenges. I say they're good things. Do you agree or disagree? Doesn't matter to me. I think that they're good. Why are they good? I think, first of all, when we err or make a mistake in volleyball, which I've talked about before happens constantly, it has to win a match. A lot of the time our go-to is to be hard on ourselves, especially when we err a lot. When we are about to play a tough match or face tough competition, or maybe we're in the middle of a tough match, sometimes we start to get anxious and worried. Those are kind of our two go-tos. In summary, negative emotions. Those can pop up with errors, mistakes, and when facing challenges. I think, and I'm not just saying this, I think that these are good things because that means we care. If you did not care about winning or succeeding, you probably wouldn't be worried. You could care and also not worry, but feeling worried means you care. And when we err and we're hard on ourselves, that means you care about doing well. So I think this is a good thing. How do we start believing this more? How can we make this more of a thing that we actually believe that mistakes and challenges are good, that we're not going to shy away from them? Let's get right into our activity to do that. I'm going to explain. So I know a lot of people watch these videos on their own. Some people watch them as a team. The activity is the same. It's just depending if you do it by yourself or with a partner. So I'm going to kind of pop up both of these. If you're watching this as a team, it's the exact same instructions, except you're going to be paired with a teammate. So I want you guys to take a piece of paper and divide it in half vertically. And on one side, you're going to write the word errors. And on one side, you're going to write the word challenges. So pause the video to just get that set up. And if you're doing this as a team, I want coaches to pair teammates together now. And you guys are both going to have a piece of paper to do this. And I want you to write errors and challenges on your piece of paper. So go ahead and do that now before we continue. Pause the video. Awesome. All right. On the error side, listen to the instructions for both the errors and the challenges first. Then I'll give you guys time to do it. On the error side, I want you personally or with your partner, think about anything you say to yourself or to a teammate when you make a mistake. Be open and be honest and really let it all out. I gave 2 examples. I can't pass today, or I'm playing horrible. Those are just 2 examples. You could have 10, you could have 15, you could have just 2 if you have really good self-talk. I would guess a lot of us are kind of harder on ourselves after error. So write down all that stuff. And when you're done, go to the challenge side. And I want you to write down things you or teammates say before a tough match. That could sound like they look so much better than us. This is going to be so hard to win. Anything you hear your team saying or yourself saying, write that down on that side. Go ahead and pause the video to get this part done as well. All right. So, excuse me. What's next with this? You guys just got a lot of negative self-talk on a piece of paper. Never our favorite thing to talk about, but I promise I have some way to help. I want you to next either rewrite or add to it, if you have space, the word but on the end of each of your statement. I don't want them to be crossed off. I want you to rewrite or keep them just the way they are, and then add a statement about action and also accepting the challenge. What do I mean by this? So my example on the error side would be, I can't pass today. I didn't cross that out. I still feel like this, but I'm going to keep trying. That's my action. That's my commitment. For the challenge, it could look like they look so much better than us. Not feeling great about it, but we also look good and we will work really hard. That's my action. So I want you to go through each of the things you wrote, even if you wrote a ton, rewrite them and add but to the end of them with an action. If you're doing this as a team, do the same thing with your partner. But coaches, when you guys are done, each group has to share an example or 2 from the challenge side with the entire team. So it should be the same sort of feeling in the negative self-talk, not crossed off, just adding the but next to it. Go ahead, pause the video, and resume when you are done. All right. What's next? How do we use this? So if you are doing this, even if you're doing this as a team, here's how to use this as an individual. How can you start to add to your negative self-talk after you err or before you face a challenge? So if you are in practice and practice is my favorite thing to say. If you're in practice and you're going through a drill and you're not feeling great about it, how can you add to your self-talk just to add the but statement? If you have a hard time with this in practice, if it's too much going on, I want you to jot down the things you hear yourself say in practice, either on the way home or maybe in bed at night, and do this activity on your own when you're in bed. I think the only way we start to change any of our self-talk is to actually practice this. And again, I don't want you to take away from the negative. I think I just want you to add to it. I think that's the important point. For teams, whoever you're with, your group or your partner, congrats. This is now your accountability partner for the month of April, or maybe the rest of the season, if coaches want that. This is the person you're going to turn to when you feel any sort of negative emotion after making a mistake, or if you're worrying about a match, and your partner is going to help you add the but statement. So be open with your partner. Partners call each other out if you see your accountability partner looking really down. So let's say Coach Amy is my accountability partner, and before a match, she says, man, it's going to be really tough for us to win, which of course she would never say. She's got confidence in our 14 gold squad. I would say, but we look really good and we're playing really well and we're going to do a good job. That is our but statement that we're going to add. I also want us to really watch our team's language before drills and matches and hold each other accountable. Not to call out my own team, but 14 gold slipped in. It was a little bit at NIT. We were facing some good teams. We were talking a lot about how good these teams are. And I don't think we performed well, because I think we let that get the best of us instead of saying, yeah, these teams are good. We're kind of worried about playing them, but we're also really good and we're going to do a good job. So really call each other out with the language we use before matches too. Like I said before, let's practice this in practice. Acknowledge how you feel after you make a mistake and just add to that self-talk that says you're up for the challenge. I think that the more, actually, I know that the more we do this with our thoughts, the more automatic just the but statements will become. So if my go-to thought after a bunch of errors is to say I can't pass today, or I'm a horrible passer, and I start adding the but statement, I will just start to think about the but statement after a while. You got to practice it, but I will start to say, I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. At tournaments, same thing. I want us to talk to our teammates before big matches, or maybe after a match you didn't play well, and add the but statements, add to it. The mistakes are going to happen. And also, important note that we're not going to feel great after mistakes usually. That's okay. I don't want you guys to hide that feeling. I don't want you to pretend it's not there. I don't want us to show it like hanging our heads. Thinking about my own team, we hang our heads sometimes. I don't want us to show it that way because I don't think that's helpful. But I want us to recognize that it's happening. Okay, I don't feel really great about this, but I'm going to keep trying. And I think that helps take some of that away too. Coaches, listen up. No, I don't mean to talk to you guys like that, but this is important for coaches if you want to take some implications away from this video of things you can do for your team. I think it's really important to ask our players what they're thinking. A pet peeve, just so gals, you know, that coaches don't like this. Poor body language is something no coach likes. But instead of just saying we don't like it or judging or yelling or whatever, I think we can benefit from just asking our players what they're thinking. I say this, I recognize that my full-time job is being a therapist. So I do this all the time in my job. However, I know it's also helpful. I love doing this with players. If a player looks really mad on the court, I say, hey, you look mad. What's going on? Or what are you thinking? Tell me what's on your mind. It's super simple. You're not like conducting a therapy session. You're just saying like, what's going on? You look mad. That's an opening for players to just at least get the negative emotion out. And then you can kind of help them by, in my next point, giving feedback, telling them what to do. Don't tell them what they're doing wrong. Just give them feedback. Keep your shoulders forward on the pass, and then give them the action. You can do this. Keep trying. I love also giving, and I've said this before in past videos, opportunities to correct errors in practice. So if you're doing, I would encourage all coaches to do drills that have a lot of reps. That allows for mistakes to happen. It allows for corrections to happen. If a player is really struggling, give them the ball more and say, you're going to keep trying this until you get it, because you can get it. I love drills like that. I think players need to see themselves succeed also, and I think that's helpful. I also want us to do a really good job of monitoring our team's language before tough matches. Like I said before, my team personally, we have slipped into this a little bit before, where we're really worried about who we're going to play. Where you ever watch a team in warmups and their middles are bouncing 10 feet and your team's like, oh, this is gonna be really hard. You know, they hit really hard. Listen for that and call it out and add, but we can defend them. We move quickly on defense. Like, why are we all so good too? What should they be saying about us? Really listen for that language and add the but statements in. My big takeaway, I've said this over and over. You guys are probably sick of me saying but statements, but add but statements after negative self-talk. I even added this picture of a cartoon butt. Because if now you're gonna remember it. So, but statements after negative self-talk. I think that's so important. We can't just ignore that we don't feel good after a mistake. I don't want us to lean into it and just feel bad. But I think the way we start to feel better is if we give ourselves something to do about it. Feedback and but statements, but we're going to keep trying. Be about that action. Like you can't just wish your way into being a better passer or erring less. You got to tell yourself you're going to do it, and your coaches are going to tell you you're going to do it, and then you're going to do it. I hope you guys remember this picture above anything in my whole video. But as per usual, if you guys ever have any questions, if you want me to come chat more, please shoot me a text, send me an email, find me in the gym. Remember to find me in the gym if you've watched all my videos so far. There's been 4, and you got to tell me what we talked about in all of them, and I'll give you a prize. So I want to say thank you guys for watching. Good luck in the month of April. Let's go crush in Chicago and Windy City. go crushing Kansas City, wherever else teams are playing, probably somewhere in Wisconsin too. And as per usual, go Sting.